the physical attributes of the tiger, how strong or how mighty the tiger is. The deer is like, it is always on watch. It knows there is always a danger and it knows it is surrounded by danger. You might be trying to dominate other people, but how long can you do it? Can you do it forever? Can you be in the power throughout your life? You can't. Hello, hi, namaste and welcome to Vidhyaashram First Grade College, the Temple of Excellence. I am Nandakishore, Faculty of English in Vidhyaashram, MYSURU. In today's session, I am going to discuss one of the 5th poems prescribed to B.A. and B.C.A. students of MYSURU University. The poem is titled as The Tiger and the Deer or Deer, written by Sri Aurobindo. So let us start with today's session. Very first thing, we are going to learn or know something about the poet and the poem. The poet is Sri Aurobindo. He was born on 15th August 1872 and he died on 5th December 1950. He was Indian philosopher, yogi, guru, poet and a nationalist. He was also a freedom fighter. He had been to London to take coaching or to get trained for civil services, but after he came back from London, he joined the freedom movement and he was greatly influenced. His main literary works are The Life Divine and Savitri. This is about Life Divine. This work is about yoga and inner peace, something which has got to deal with yogic science. And Savitri is written in blank verse. This is one of the major and main important works of Sri Aurobindo. This is written in blank verse and it deals with theology of Mahabharata. It talks about related to the concept of Mahabharata. So that is about Sri Aurobindo. And this poem, The Tiger and the Deer, it is somewhat bit complicated when we talk about the poem. Why? Because it is not just the concept which is discussed about the literal tiger and the deer. It's about something more. It has got to teach the readers, or it has got to convey the readers about the independence. So let us deal with the poem here. The first words itself is a bit scary. It's a bit mind-boggling. It's a bit mind-storming. It's sort of a brainstorming activity. You get to see these words, you get to understand these words, you can literally experience. At times you get goosebumps when you read this poem. Yes, of course, you heard me right, because if you are an animal lover and if you love to watch National Geographic Channel or any Discovery Channel or Animal Planet, in those kind of TV or television channels, right, you get to see this act, how the tiger or the lion or the cheetah or the leopard hunts its prey. First line itself, brilliant. Crouching, slouching, what crept through the green heart of the forest. It says, brilliant. Crouching and slouching. The beginning word itself says brilliant. What is so brilliant here? As the title says, we are talking about the tiger. The tiger is magnificent. And you should remember one thing, if you have heard of William Blake, he was the England poet and he has written the tiger poem. Here, the tiger, T-I-G-E-R, is actual tiger we are talking about. But in William Blake's poem, tiger is T-Y-G-E-R. It is not T-I-G-E-R. Where it talks, so it is a bit complicated. And to opposite of it, he also writes the lamb poem. William Blake has also written the tiger and the lamb, two opposites. Here, the Indian author, the Indian poet, Sri Aurobindo, writes about the tiger and the deer, not the lamb, you should remember. He writes brilliant. how it looks and how elegant it appears in front of the prey. This is the predator, right? And the prey is always dumb or weak, or even it could be splendor, attractive, but not brilliant. That is the reason why he chooses the words carefully. Crouching, how the tiger crouches. It will not just all of a sudden runs and comes. It gives the signals to the prey, I'm coming and going to eat you. No, it is not going to give any signal, any sign to the prey. It just hides itself. Usually these predators, they choose the marshy land, the grassland. Okay, they don't prefer hiding or they don't prefer hunting the prey in the open grounds. Lesser, very less. They prefer hunting their prey in open grounds. Here it has to crouch. It will wait for the deer, okay, or it will wait for its prey to come towards itself, or maybe it will wait until it reaches, it crawls and it crouches until it reaches the striking distance. So once it calculates, the tiger or any predator for that matter, once it calculates that it is going to catch the predator, then it will open up. Then it will start chasing it up. But until then, it crouches and slouches. What is this difference? Crouching is like where it hides itself, trying to be like a sort of a camouflage inside the bushes, right? And it sneaks in slowly. Here, slouching is, you should observe, you should watch this Animal Planet. It is beautifully shot. Most of the videos or most of the predator, they will just like go, stop, and it will be just still. It will not even move a muscle. You should observe it. That is called slouching. It will just move, stop, give a pause, because the predator is such an animal, it will not send any signal to the prey that here is the animal, here is the death awaiting. It is such a beautiful, brilliant, calculative animal. And by chance, if it happens that the animal, this tiger or cheetah or leopard or even the lion, if it knows that it is going to land its paws on the dead leaf, it would not do it. Instead, it would change the course of its direction. It would change the course of its landing, and it would land on the grass softly, not even a bit of sound there. So that's it. That is like slouching. Changing the direction, moving the muzzle, giving a pause, and then moves forward. What crept through the green heart of the forest? It's like creeping. It is not actually walking or running. It crept. Crawling. Right? Slowly go there and reach the nearest area possible to hunt. And then it says, gleaming eyes and mighty chest. Or the writes, gleaming eyes. Attractive, shining, glittering eyes. Gleaming eyes and the mighty chest. He is comparing the physical attributes of the tiger, how strong or how mighty the tiger is. You should see the paws, the power of the paws of the tiger or the lion. It would just, with one blow, the deer body would be split into two halves. That's how powerful the punch or the landing, the power of the paws of the tiger. You should know it, the tiger has the strongest paws. With one blow, 1/5 blow, maybe your skull, remember, if it is a man, this skull would be ripped off from your face. The skull, or maybe let us say, if it blows here, the jaw would come off. The jaws would be dismantled. It would lose its shape. That's how powerful it is. And it says, mighty chest. Big broad chest. While it walks, you should observe the chest here, the legs, the paws. It is so mighty. And soft, soundless paws. Beautifully compared. He says, soundless paws. Let me tell you an interesting fact about tiger. tigers are the brilliant hunters. They hunt alone, just like leopard. But cheetahs, they can hunt together. But tigers, I rarely have seen, and I've not read anywhere saying that tigers hunt in group. No, they don't. They don't hunt in a pack. Remember that. But the wolves do. The wild dogs do. The hyenas do. But the tiger doesn't. It hunts alone. And what it does is, it always chooses to walk slowly. Very slow compared to other animals. Cheetah, of course, it crawls and runs faster. But here, soundless pause. You can't even guess where the tiger is. All of a sudden it jumps out of grandeur and murder. Now he says soundless pause of grandeur and murder. What is this meaning of grandeur? The splendorous, the majestic animal, and murder. He says grandeur and murder. Murder is opposite. Remember, this is majestic, splendor. Okay, this is murder, the opposite of it. How can it be both? This is the brilliancy of writing a poem by Sri Aurobindo. He says splendor, grandeur and murder, question mark. He's not declaring it, there is a question mark here. And then he says, the wind slipped through the leaves as if afraid lest. These two lines are talking about the tiger. Now he talks about something else. The wind slipped through the leaves. The wind slipped through the leaves. Look at the words chosen here. Through the leaves as if afraid lest. Lest is to avoid the danger. To avoid the danger, its voice and the noise of its steps perturb the pitiless splendor. Is he talking about the deer here? Yes. It is both deer and the tiger. You can interpret these lines in both the way. Here he is talking about where it is soundless. Even the deer, wind slipped through the leaves as if afraid, avoid its voice. But mainly he is talking about the tiger here. The tiger is moving as if, it is not even breathing, not even moving a muscle. And the noise of its steps, it's crawling, okay, and it should not make any noise as such, perturb, to change the course. The pitiless splendor. When he talks about this line, this word, pitiless splendor, it seems as if he's talking about the deer here. Pitiless splendor. He's moving towards this animal, deer, hardly daring to breathe. He says, hardly daring to breathe. Now, did he speak about the deer here? Yes, he did. Of course he did. On the other hand, the deer is like, it is always on watch. It knows there is always a danger, and it knows it is surrounded by danger. So it is barely breathing. Yes, you can interpret this is an act of deer. Also, you can refer it or you can talk about this line to the tiger as well. It says hardly daring to breathe. Maybe the tiger, it doesn't even want to let out its breath to indicate or to signal the deer that it is nearby. But the great beast. Now this but is a bit complicated here. Why? Because the previous lines, of course, it is for the deer. And now he says but the great beast. He says great beast crouched and crept. It is coming. Crouched and crept and crouched. Now what is it doing? It's going on, coming and coming. A last time. Now it knows it is time to strike. Noiseless, fatal. Look at the words chosen. Noiseless and fatal. Completely opposite of the word fatal. Fatal, before you die, let me tell you, before you die, of course you are going to make noise. But here it is noiseless. You are not aware that there is death behind you or in front of you, maybe beside you. You are not aware at all. Noiseless, and it is fatal. The steps, footsteps, or the paw steps, the foot marks, it is fatal. Till suddenly death leaped on the beautiful wild deer as it drank, unsuspecting. What is it doing? It's drinking from the great pool in the forest's coolness and shadow. It says the deer leapt. The tiger suddenly leapt on the deer, on the beautiful wild deer as it drank. What is it doing? It's unsuspecting, not aware of anything. From the great pool, he says, great pool in the forest's coolness and shadow. Now let us go back and see this poem in a different angle. If we just go back and see this poem in a different angle, it gives us a different meaning. The perception is such that tiger is compared to British and deer is compared to India, right? Indians. Observe all this. Britishers, they came to India the way the tiger is crouching and slouching and moving towards Indians. We were not aware at all until they started dominating, until they came and established British East India Company in India and ruled us for more than 300 years, 3 centuries. We were not aware. They were hiding somewhere. They came up to India. They established their own colony. They implemented imperial rule. They ruled over, and what did they do? At the end, they finally killed us. They killed our tradition. They killed our customs. They killed our indigenous people, plenty of people. They massacred. There was a lot of bloodshed. While the Indian soldier lay in the war field just like a deer. We were so beautiful, of course. We may not be fair. We may not be white-skinned, but we have a beauty. We are still beautiful. And that is a comparison. You can look at it in a different way. And once and for all, the tiger leapt on India. Right? The tiger, the Britishers leapt on India and they conquered, captured. They went on massacring people, implementing rules after rules. Observe these words and try to read it from the perspective of the freedom struggle. Maybe this is the message from Sri Aurobindo. He means to say the tiger is the British and the deer is Indian. Let us move on to the next one here. So it was not aware that there is tiger, there is death, it is fatal, that the deer would die in any moment. What happens next is, and it fell and torn, died, remembering its mate left soul in deep woodland. Exactly the way the Indian soldiers thought of. They were thinking about their wives, their family members, their friends, back in India where they were lying dead. Yes, millions of people have died in the war field, Second World War, and Indians were the part of British Army. Maybe this poem also speaks about that. Why can't we look at it in that perspective? And it fell. What fell? The deer here. The deer fell and torn, not just dead, torn, split. Died, remembering its mate, left soul in the sense individual, alone in the deep woodland, deep down. destroyed. He says just destroyed. What is destroyed here? Is it the life of the deer here? Or is it the hope? Or is it the faith? Or is it the promise? It is everything. It could be also the promise which the deer had made to its soulmate, the companion. It could be the faith on the God or on itself, that it would go back to its companion. Is it the strong will that it is going to get itself food in the forest and go back alive? All of these are put together and all of this are destroyed now. Destroyed the mild, harmless beauty. He says, mild, harmless. Just like Indians. Remember, India never rebelled against anybody. Even today, it doesn't. That is the attribute of Indians. Be proud to be an Indian. We are not trying to expand our boundary. Right from the ages together, Indians never rebelled against any foreign power. It's just, India was such a majestic country, even today it is. All we did was to invite APTITUDE Devo Bhava. Yes, and consider this world as a family. Being so humane, mild, harmless. We were not harmful like Britishers. We are harmless. We were harmless. Mild, harmless beauty by the strong, cruel beauty in nature. That is the nature. If we didn't rebel, it is the nature of Indians. But in nature is such that if you are silent and people believe that you are weak, and it is a natural inheritance that always weak will be dominated. That is exactly what the Britishers did. Did you know that Britishers were originally barbarians? They were almost like man-eaters. Yes, they were barbarians. So that they were like mentally strong, physically strong, beauty in nature, cruelly strong, cruel. It is not just cruel, it is strong as well and cruel as well. But a day, now he says, but wait, hold on. Let me just tell you. Now he says, Sri Aurobindo says, hold on, like my fellows, my readers, a day may yet come when the tiger crouches and leaps no more in the dangerous heart of the forest. What happened to Britishers today? Britishers might have ruled us for more than 300 years. They were the colonizers. They colonized many countries. Where are they today? Where are the Britishers? They are powerless now. It is America who is most powerful today. And Aurobindo says, a day may yet come. It will come where the tiger will not crouches and leaps. It's not going to do it anymore because it's going to die. It is happening. Think about it. This poem was written long back and we live in 21st century. Think about it. The words which were then told is literally happening today. It is happening. And very fewer tigers are left on planet Earth. And very soon we may have to see these tigers in television, maybe on television. Yes, or maybe as a toy. It is endangered species. But that is the second part. But here it means it would end. The species would die one day. It would go vanished. It would go. Nobody would see the species anymore. The dangerous, and where? In the dangerous heart of the forest. The dangerous heart where the tiger or the lion or the cheetah or the predator will mark its boundary. The dangerous heart, the boundary which will just splashes its urine and marks its boundary. And dare any other animal, dare any other tiger walks into that boundary, they would fall into a ferocious fight. Now, he says, just like as the mammoth is just twice or thrice bigger than present elephant. If you have seen elephant, African elephant, it is twice the bigger size. The mammoth. As the mammoth shakes no more the plains of Asia. Mammoths existed maybe like 300, 400, 500 years, 600 years, maybe 2000 years ago. We don't know. It is one of the oldest animals there, species. But today, he recalls Sri Aurobindo that mammoths did exist long back, not now. But when he composed this poem, he writes, just like mammoths don't exist anymore, so will the tiger. It will not exist in future. Maybe it's going to happen very soon. If we are not going to take up any precautionary measures to save the species, definitely very soon, maybe within 10 years, this tiger, the national animal, would go extinct. There would not be even a single tiger animal left on planet Earth. The Bengal tiger, our national animal, would go extinct. Remember this. Now, still then shall the beautiful. Now he says still. It could be also till then, the deer would not be freely roaming around the boundaries, but he says still then shall the beautiful wild deer drink from the coolness of great pools in the leaves' shadow. The leaves' shadow, where it will find the food. Right? And he says, until then, the deer has to be very careful. It is a sort of a warning sent from Sri Aurobindo. Just like how we waited for 300 years to gain our independence and the Britishers had to leave our country. We had to wait. And of course, the deer in a sense, it is not about a single deer here. No, it is not a single deer. It's about the millions of deers, just like the Indians who had to wait. Of course, few would have been killed, but not all the deer, but not all the Indians. Remember this. This is very important. This could be asked for annotation. You may have to write it. The mighty perish in their might. The slain survive the slayer. Very important couplets. Mighty. Yes, the powerful. Very strong. The tiger. Perish. Die. Kill. Right? The mighty would be dead. It will die in their might. Might what? Free. Liberty. Yes, probability. Where the tiger roams around the forests freely. It has nobody to compete. It is free from all the fears. The slain. Yes, the one who is killed. The slain survives. The slayer, the killer. The slain is killed. The deer here. Killer is tiger. It says the slain survive the slayer. This is going to live longer than the slayer. That's how the population is. It could be even jaguar or panther or leopard, cheetah, lion, tiger. For that matter, all the killers, the slayers, they are very less in number. But look at this, slain. It's huge. The number is huge. It keeps multiplying. It just keeps adding, but here it keeps multiplying. 2 becomes 4, 4 becomes 8, it goes on. 8 becomes 16, right? Here it keeps adding. 1 plus becomes 2, 2 becomes 4, it goes on. Or it may not. He says it is a warning, and there is a strong message sent to the reader by Aurobindo. It says you might be trying to dominate other people, but how long can you do it? Can you do it forever? Can you be in the power throughout your life? You can't. Can you just do, or can you just keep doing what you're doing right now? You can't. You cannot do it. So this is sort of a message, and this is also an independence poem. You may have to wait till you get independence. Try to look at it in another angle. You would definitely find the meaning from this poem. So that is about the poem here. Let us see the previous year's question paper and the questions. What do the tiger and the deer stand for? Well, the tiger is majestic animal, the powerful animal, and the deer is splendorous, like it is weak and this is strong. Here usually the answer is the tiger. You can also write tiger represents the Britishers and the deer represents the Indians. How does the tiger move in the forest according to Sri Aurobindo? It crouches and slouches. These are the two words, and this were question for 1 mark each. And this was asked for 10 mark, and there were no annotation questions as such previously asked. So be careful, they may ask you. This time in 2020, be careful, you may have to write 2021, you may have to attempt any one of the questions from this poem, especially annotation. Be careful. Summarize the poem. This is for 10 marks. Summarize the poem, the tiger and the deer. So you should be knowing how to write or how to start about answering this question. Try to write the poem, the title, write about the poet, his other works. Try to talk about few important points in this poem. There are few important things which are mentioned, how the comparison between the majestic and the beautiful wild deer or the deer, which is killed by the majestic animal. So you should be able to analyze it, understand it, and answer it in your examination. So that is it for today's session. I'm going to meet you in my next session with new topic. Until then, keep reading. Have a good day. Take care.